217 Recovery
Podcast
is the 1st of August. Appreciate you listening. I really do. Thank you so much. Without you listening, well, we'd still doing their podcast. But, hey, without you telling your friends, though, and people that you know in recovery, that would suck. Because then it would be just my mom listening. And, I mean, nothing against my mom listening or anything, but I appreciate you listening, too. Really do.
Thanks, Mom.
Yeah. If you're into football, you know, August means
football coming at you.
Yeah, preseason. And I get so excited for the preseason, Ryan. And then I watch 5 minutes of a preseason game, and I remember, oh, yeah. But there's a way to turn preseason football into something magical. Let me tell you a story, Ryan. It was about a time when I lived in San Antonio. No, actually, I was living in Fort Smith, Arkansas, and like all they put on was Cowboy games down there.
Oh, my God.
And, you know, after living in Dallas for a while, I kind of became a Cowboys fan, so I was cool with it.
You're a Dallas fan?
Yeah.
I think that's the team I dislike the most of the whole NFL.
It's too bad. I like them. I like radio stations in Dallas. I don't know. I had a good time. Food in Dallas is amazing. But anyway. So, I'm watching this preseason game, and they're playing Houston. And this guy is running the ball and just running over people. And I'm like, who is this dude? I was like, I'm going to keep an eye on this guy. I've never heard of him before, but wow, he's a badass. So my first, I think I got first overall pick that year.
And you picked that guy?
No, I picked Adrian Peterson. And then on the back end, I was like, well,
I don't know.
He's still there. Nobody's heard of him. Nobody knows about him. Arian Foster. That was his like breakout year. Like Arian Foster jumped on the scene. I was like, woo! And everybody's like, how did you know? And then like the year before that, I did the same thing with Chris Johnson. Nobody knew who Chris Johnson was. And Michael Turner. You know, they're like, what are you doing? Ooh, what's this
got
magic?
A guy, but he was running people over last year. I'm not even going to tell you about him.
Jerome Bettis retired, bruh.
It's not the bus.
All right. Well, we'll see. We'll see, Ryan.
You're going to see. My running back going to... Just don't worry.
You're thinking, this is a recovery podcast? You guys are talking about football? Well, kinda.
A little bit today.
Because we have the 217 Sober League, which, you know, sometimes, and this is something that kind of hit home to me, is when my buddy told me why he dropped out of my fantasy football league. It's because...
Too much drunks?
Too much Corey drunk. At 9 o'clock in the morning, 10 o'clock in the morning, he's like, you would call me, and you would already be just trashed. And so I realized, you know, maybe there are people in recovery that just want a nice, safe, sober league. And I've been inviting more and more people every day that I know, and a couple of them, well, my friend Matt, BB, what's up? He told me, he's like, because he tried to, like, make it like, oh, well, I'm an athlete. I play real football. He was like, yeah, I never got into fantasy. I was, too busy playing football. And I'm like, oh my God, you play in the NFL, bro? He's like, well, no. I'm like, look, fantasy football, if you've never played before, don't let it scurry you. Ryan, you've never played before.
Never.
And I'm telling you, it's fun. It's going to change the way you look at the game.
I'm
and
ready.
It's more about the camaraderie of the people in the league. You know, like my friends from high school, you know, I talk to them every once in a while, but more of a text like, hey, buddy, what's up? But during fantasy football season, that's when I talk to them the most because they're in the league. And during the summer and during school, you know, he's got kids and they're playing softball and baseball. And he's running them all over. We don't have time to talk. But football, things kind of settle down for him.
And kids go back to school.
Yeah, and he's got a little time on Sunday to make some moves. And it's just a lot of fun. And it's about the camaraderie of the people in the league. So if you want to join a fun, sober league, if you've never played before, don't worry about it.
I never did it, but I'm ready to kill it.
You know, we're not playing for much, just the 217 recovery fantasy football trophy, which we're going to buy later, but don't worry about that. Don't worry about that, but you have a chance. No, not you have a chance. You can. No, not you can.
And how many people are in the league?
Well, there's a total of 12 slots, and I think we got 6 people now. Matt's got to register, so that'll be 7 taken up. So we got 5 slots open. I don't think we have any. Oh, no, Anna's in it. Her team name. Waterproof. That's what she says, but we'll see.
We'll see.
Right now it's Anna's team, and yours was amazingly awesome because we got you the Rad Dad hat. We made you wear it that one time to the what was it called?
Recovery Notes.
Recovery Notes. And so Ryan's team was automatically just bloop, Ryan's rad team. Which I was like, oh my god. I thought you named it that. I'm like, oh my god, that's too funny. And then the fact that you didn't.
It is even more coincidental.
Yeah, that made me realize that they are listening to
I
us.
am just rad. It's like
Well, I think it's
meant to be.
They're all listening to us through every device we have.
Oh.
Like, I was thinking stuff today at work. And stuff was just bloop, popping up. I was like, I didn't even say it.
The phone knows me more than I know me.
I know. It's good. Man, it's going to hell. AI is going to take over. That's what's going to kill everybody's AI. They're going to make it to where we can't even turn them off. I think we've talked about this
matter.
before.
If they do what I'm thinking, that's great.
No, we do what they're thinking. We do. You know, my computer, what does it do? Oh, no, you need to load
It picks
this
up
file.
on your stuff, though.
Well, yeah, no, and it's like, I can't perform. You need to go get this. Okay, I'll go install this then, yeah. Uh-huh.
Maybe you do, but I'm not so...
You're like, stupid computer, I'm not installing that.
I'm not so technically... I'm not inclined, but just advocate or something there, like you are. I don't spend my whole day looking at screens.
I don't either. I'm taking naps, bro. No, but I'm just saying, like, AI is for real going to take over.
It could.
Prepare yourself.
People let it.
Let it. We are just naturally drawn to it because we want more. We want smarter this because we're so lazy, and it's just so cool to have convenience, you know?
I like going and getting out about experience. I think that's life is experiences, and it's not all just sitting at home and letting the world come to you, because that just doesn't really work that way.
Unless it's Sunday, dun, 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 or Monday night football. Then you can watch some TV. But
you ready for some football?
Technology is crazy. But yeah, so sign up for the league if you want. I think I shared it in the family, 217 Recovery family page. I'm not sure. I think that's all I shared it in. But if you want to get in the league, just shoot me an email, hit me up on Facebook, whatever. You can DM me. You know what that means?
Some kind of message?
Direct message.
Okay.
You can direct message me. That's fine. Speaking of direct messaging,
what's your message for the day, Corey?
Well, I got a message from a woman. It's the woman that was in, or is in, North Carolina. And she asked me a question. I figured I would ask it to you, too.
All right.
When did you know that you had enough? When did you know that you needed some help?
When did
that you couldn't do it on your own?
After I got out of jail and I didn't change a whole lot of whatever I was doing, and realized this cannot go on much longer and turn out well. I'll be right back in jail, and I need to change. And I obviously ain't doing it on my own.
Did you have that breakdown crying moment?
No. More like I just put myself into treatment. I had gone to treatment before and more court ordered to go than anything else. Although I just kind of copped out and said, like, if I would have just served time that I had over my head, I would only had 2 more weeks, but instead I took a month of rehab. So I was like, so I kind of gave myself credit for 2 weeks of rehab for myself. And then I only stayed sober for about a month and a half after rehab, and then slowly started to get back into drinking, and didn't really go to much meetings or do any kind of maintenance or program after. I mean, I went to a few for a couple of weeks, but there wasn't enough. It wasn't like any kind of real program I was running. And then after going to jail for another couple of months and got out and started doing the same things, I'm like, just playing with fire here, and I'm losing.
Yeah. Comes a time where
Mm-hmm.
you have to just stop because you're just tired of it.
Yeah, I was like, yeah, it's not getting better. I'm just, faking everything.
And your thing was jail. Like, that's got to be old.
Yeah.
Like, you're like, oh, yeah, man. Like, it's got to be the same kind of feeling, or at least similar to the feelings like I would have when I would, relapse or something. Like, oh,
another
again,
couple months
like,
of this
now I
crap.
gotta go through this all again. I got to face my family again. What
yeah.
did I do? I'm afraid to even
They
get on
didn't
Facebook.
even, once I went to jail for about the third time, they didn't even talk to me for probably 3 weeks or so. No money on my books, nothing, just out on an island. So.
Well, mine was, of course, I don't know. I guess I got scared when, man, I had that stomach pain. It just hurt so bad. It would not go away. And I got to the point where I would go home and try to drink, and I couldn't. I couldn't even drink. Like, I would throw up, and I couldn't even keep it down. Like, it was bad. And I got to work, and I started Googling things and the pain, and I'm like, well, it might be there, I think it was WebMD or something I was on. And I'm like, that's kind of where it hurts, but it hurts worse than what they're saying it does. And, when the whole liver failure thing, it was just a real big wake-up call. But, like, I remember Googling it, and it was like, when my friend told me I was jaundice, and I'm like, I didn't know what jaundice meant, I looked that up, and it was like, oh, liver failure,
Why am I yellow?
I remember thinking, like, oh my God, I did it.
Me.
Like, I did it way too much. I way overdid it. Like, oh my God, like, what's going to happen? And, being in the hospital for a month or whatever, and just, it sucked, man. But then I got out, and and every time, man, and this was like the first time, but I'm never drinking again. I had a catheter shoved down my chest, and it was not cool. And I just thought,
feed tube or something.
This scar. Well, no, for dialysis and stuff.
That's
because
a catheter is something else.
Yeah, it was gross.
It doesn't go.
What?
Catheter doesn't go in there.
Yeah, it does.
Okay.
You can get one in your weenie too.
No, that's where they usually go. I'm pretty sure.
They go. Catheter's the device.
Alright.
Not where it goes. Put a catheter in your
PICC line is. I know they have them. I don't know.
PICC line. That would be in your arm.
Yeah.
Well, this was.
That's weird.
Yeah, we'll debate it later.
Oh well, I guess if
WebMD,
if it was there to relieve your kidneys or something, I don't know. But yeah, I think mine wasn't more physical problems. It was just lifestyle, and the way I felt, the way things were going was just so depressing. So hated my life, hated me, and I definitely needed some kind of change in a big way. And then I was ready to make them changes, take them steps in order to get myself better.
Well, I was and I wasn't ready, because when I got out of the hospital, I had this girlfriend at the time, and she was like, "Oh my ass, man!" And I told her, I was like, "You need to calm down," And she's like, and I was like, "I don't even know who I am or what I like." I didn't know what shows I really liked. I tried watching some of the dumb shows I would watch before. I'm like, this is stupid. Like, I had to have been drunk to watch this stuff. I mean, it was dumb. And I like I said, I didn't know what I liked, so I told her that, and she got all butthurt, and she's like, well, you're such an a-hole, and, when you find out who you really are, you're going to realize what a piece of crap you are and what an a-hole you are. And I'm like,
real great.
Okay, it's the last message I'm going to get from her. Ended up hooking up back up with her a couple months later. But
I know the feeling.
Yeah, she had a booty. But, so I wasn't really prepared for, like, well, what do I do? What do I like? Where should I go? And I was so used to ordering out because I was always drunk and having it delivered. I remember one time I was like, oh, man, I got to go there, or I have to have them deliver it because the other one's already closed. And I was like, wait a minute. I can jump in my car and go anywhere I want because I'm not drunk. I remember just, like little things like that, and it was just like, wow, this is nice. And then, like 5 months later, I'm drinking again. I started with beer, and I'm like, well, I didn't die because they told me, if you drink again, you will die. It's going to be horrible and slow, and you're going to hate it. I'm like, whatever. Then I drank a couple beers, and I'm like, I didn't die. Look at them. Psh.